Hey, and welcome to CBR. Have you wondered who is the most powerful on Gen V? With Season 2 coming back, we're gonna go through and rank all the characters. Gen V will introduce a new character in Season 2, Dean Cipher. However, we can't really rank him yet because we don't know what he can do. This character will join Gen V for the new season that premieres on September 17th, portrayed by Hamish Linklater. Dean Cipher is the successor of Indira Shetty after she died at the hands of her protege, Cate, while trying to kill all the Supes in the world. The new Dean has very different ideas from Shetty. For starters, he's definitely a Supe. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so convinced that superpowered individuals are more important than regular humans, and he wouldn't be leading a war against those he considers weaker. Based on teasers and trailers, we know Cipher has superhuman strength and durability as well as superhearing. We can only imagine he also has other super senses, like most Supes do. It's well known that Supes can hear higher frequencies than humans, so there are no secrets from them. While we wait for the premiere of Gen V to give us an answer regarding Dean Cipher's unique powers, it's fun to wonder just how morbid they will be. Hamish Linklater is an exceptional actor who excels at portraying villains. Cipher is convinced that Godokan University needs a firm hand, and he comes from the Almira Adult Rehabilitation Center, which means he's definitely up to no good. Will his superpower be as cruel as his personality? Out of all the Supes on Gen V so far, Harper may have the ickiest superpower ever. The girl has a prehensile rat tail, rings, and everything included. When it comes to everything else, Harper is a perfectly normal woman. Her tail is difficult to digest for most, especially those with a strong rat phobia. Harper's rat tail isn't completely useless. In fact, she can control it without a problem. Think of it as another limb, which she can use to grab stuff, signal, and communicate, or even hit others. While the tail can prove useful in certain circumstances, it doesn't really give her an advantage in serious moments or in combat. She isn't stronger or more agile than other Supes, she just has an extra limb that is also a bit revolting to the average person. Do you really think she could be part of the Seven with nothing but a rat tail? The answer is definitely no. Not only would Harper be pretty much useless in battle against actual superheroed enemies, but the Seven would never accept such an unremarkable ability. It would ruin their image, and that's the most important thing. Given this, it makes sense that Harper's tail ranks as the least interesting power in Gen V. When it comes to superheroes, it's common for some of them to have epic superpower sets, while others have to get used to getting abilities that set them apart in the wrong way. Think Magneto versus Forget-Me-Not. One is a powerful magnetism manipulator, while the other has the ability to be completely forgotten. This also happens in the Boys franchise, but there's also Dusty. The Godokan student was born with a slow aging factor. Although Dusty is actually 28 years old, he looks like a kid. More specifically, he's played by Andy Walken, who was born in 2006. This means the actor was around 17 when the first season premiered. Of course, looking like a kid doesn't stop Dusty from living his best life. Since technically he isn't a kid, it's just a weird thing to see. It's not like the Boys franchise doesn't have many of those anyway, right? Dusty's de-accelerated aging is both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, he gets to live longer than most of his peers, but on the other, he's never taken seriously because he looks way too young. Would you like to have this power? Harper's roommate, Justine Garcia, is a freshman student at Godokan University, as well as a B-list actress and famous influencer thanks to her YouTube channel, Spillin' the Tea. As a Supe, Justine doesn't have any offensive superpowers. Instead, she has an incredible regenerative healing factor that allows her to come back from injuries that would kill humans, or even Supes. A healing factor is a useful superpower. For example, if it weren't for it, Wolverine wouldn't be nearly as iconic as he is. However, this ability has been kind of wasted on Justine so far. The shameless influencer used it to repair her own jaw after Jordan Lee punched her, but she hasn't used her abilities to help either heroes or villains. So does she really have what it takes to be part of a superhero team like the Seven? In addition to having a great healing factor, Justine can modify her own pain threshold, making herself incredibly resistant to it. She basically shrugs off some of the most powerful punches, which means she has an advantage in battle every time. But instead of using it on the battlefield, she chooses to be an annoyance to her peers. Few can forget how she betrayed Emma's trust just to get more followers, right? Her ability doesn't rank her as high on the list because it doesn't help her with anything when it comes to attacking. Instead, it's only a great defense ability. Emma, known as Little Cricket, was injected with Compound V as a baby, which gave her the ability to grow in size. She can make herself very little, or as little as to get inside a person, or grow kaiju giant. Size manipulation powers aren't exactly unique. Many other superheroes and comics do this, like Ant-Man, Wasp, the Atom, or even Termite from the same franchise. However, Little Cricket's abilities differentiate from others because she can't just grow bigger or go smaller at will. It all depends on her eating. By binge eating, Emma can become huge. This means that the opposite also stands true. She can become small by throwing up. She calls this purging. For Emma, it's all about the calorie intake. According to Emma's mother, even a small change in her diet, like reducing 50 calories from her day, can make her look very different when it comes to her size. Her mother has controlled her caloric intake since she was a kid. It's safe to say that Little Cricket's superpower is an allegory of an eating disorder. Even including her controlling mother in the equation, it's hard not to feel compassion for this huge weight on her shoulders. Since size manipulation makes Little Cricket super powerful, but it also limits her daily life, she's still in a worse position than most of her peers. Season 1 introduced Andre Anderson, a Supe with incredible electromagnetic abilities that allow him to control all metal around him, all with a simple hand gesture. Sadly, the actor portraying Andre, Chance Perdomo, passed away last year. This forced Gen V to replan the second season. Now it has been revealed that Polarity, his father, will take a main role on the show. Polarity shared Andre's abilities. It's likely their genes reacted in the same way to the compound. Electromagnetic abilities are kind of unique, especially because they have a lot of potential. Besides altering metal and lifting up to 12 tons, the Anderson men could modify gravity, ruin all technology around them, or even mess with the nerve signals of their enemies. Not to mention, pretty much every kind of energy is on the electromagnetic spectrum, so they could harness it and abuse it. It's really the logical path for their powers. Sadly, Andre won't appear on the show anymore after Perdomo's tragic passing, but Polarity, who is a more seasoned hero, will get a prominent role. This means Gen V could explore this character's abilities. Polarity isn't in the comics, so Gen V writers have free reign to make him more powerful in the future. Hopefully, the series will make it obvious that electromagnetic manipulation is way more than just moving metal around. While most students at Godokin University have physical superpowers, Rufus McCurdy is all about the mind. This villainous young man has powerful telepathic skills that he only uses for evil. He needs to be close to his target, but even with his weaknesses, Rufus has some tricks up his sleeve. Rufus can use his telepathy to hypnotize his victims, making them highly suggestible and having amnesia after the event. He has used these powers to coerce women into sleeping with him, but also to make someone abandon a place if he doesn't like them. Additionally, he's a psychic. That doesn't mean he can just know the future as a common fortune teller, but also using an object belonging to his target, he will be able to guess some things about them. That is quite the party trick. Rufus's telepathy is a bit different from what comic readers are used to. He doesn't read minds or create illusions in his victims' brains. His coercive skills make him a powerful villain, especially because very few can resist him. Jordan Lee has to be one of the most interesting characters in the Boys franchise. This character has a very unique power set because they have a very unique nature too. They are a dual being. Born a boy, Jordan develops a female side when their powers appeared. Each male and female form has abilities of their own that set Jordan apart from their peers. When transformed into their female form, Jordan can shoot energy blasts from their hands to stun their enemies or even kill them. But perhaps their most important trait when in female form is their agility. It's basically impossible to actually hit Jordan when they're in the zone. As a male, Jordan's most amazing trait is their durability. This Supe is basically unstoppable. They're generally fast, sure, and they'll dodge anything, but even if they're hit, they're basically indestructible. Having two forms separates Jordans from other Supes at Godokin University. They have twice as many abilities. It's simple math, but additionally, they are studying a crime-fighting major, and they are committed to their studies. Given all the abilities that come from having a male and female form, you would think that Jordan's skill set would rank higher. However, when compared to their peers, their abilities aren't as unique, so it all balances out. If you're familiar with the Boys, you already know that all Supes have superhuman strength as well as superhuman senses. Sam Riordan is even stronger. His superhuman strength makes other supers' strength seem like nothing. He can overpower pretty much any of his peers, and he can punch through anything and anyone. In addition to this superpower, Sam has superhuman durability. Again, all supes are more resilient than the average human. Sam goes the extra mile. This superpowered young man can take a punch from anyone on Godokan University and keep fighting. Sam's brute force is truly incredible, so it makes sense that he stands out among other supes at Godokan University. No other superpowered being in this school compares with him. When Cate Dunlap was only a kid, she went on a camping trip with her family. Here, annoyed by her brother, she told him to disappear into the woods and never return. This kid did exactly that. This is the moment Cate realized the extent of her telepathic abilities. Like Rufus, Cate's ability is all about her mind. She has a telepathic skill set that makes her quite powerful. She's way better than Rufus. For example, Cate can actually hear everyone's thoughts around her. She's the most powerful telepathic at Godokan University. Cate can use her telepathic skills to do different things, but each of them is just as interesting. She has a subtle way of mind controlling others. It's a combination of tactile contact and verbal orders that she calls pushing. Her victims becomes her puppet, doing her bidding without questioning her. Through this so-called push, Cate can also manipulate her victims' memories. She can have them forget entire passages of their lives and alter them at will, or even have them remember something they thought missing forever. Of course, since Cate's push can order others to do what she wants, it can also alter their emotions. With just a couple of words and a soft touch, Cate can have others feeling happiness, sadness, fear, or any other emotion you can imagine. It's undeniable that Cate possesses one of the most powerful skill sets in Gen V. She doesn't need brute force or any other condition to turn people into her minions and make them forget it ever happened. Marie herself admitted she's way more powerful than her peers expected. Given this, she has climbed into the higher positions among the Supe community, and she even works for Homelander now. Luke Riordan, Sam's brother and one of the most popular supes at Godokan University, was injected by Compound V as a baby, which gave him thermonuclear abilities. Then, through constant blood transfusions from his brother, his powers were augmented over time. This explains why he has such a potent skill set. Also known as Golden Boy, Luke can create fire at will, and he can also manipulate it. The plasma comes out of his hands and he can then blast fire towards his enemies. Golden Boy can engulf himself in fire completely, bringing his heat to an incredibly high degree. Any other person would die, but this feels like home for him. Given his talent, Luke actually got a place with the Seven almost immediately, contrary to all his peers. Like the Human Torch, engulfing himself in fire allows Luke to fly. What's more, he can turn himself into a living bomb, killing anyone around him and himself. This is exactly what happened. Luke Riordan killed himself using his own abilities. Sadly for fans of Golden Boy, Patrick Schwarzenegger has confirmed that he won't return for Season 2 of Gen V. Luke immolated himself with his own abilities after going on a rampage. Still, this character's potential for destruction remains a surprise for the fans. Luke Riordan's thermonuclear manipulation and pyrokinesis are amazing, ranking in second place after only Marie Moreau's morbid blood-related abilities. Marie Moreau is the main character of Gen V and unarguably the supe with the best power. She possesses hemokinesis, which means she can control blood with her mind, whether it's hers or her enemies. And yeah, people kinda need blood to survive. Marie's hemokinesis wasn't invented in the franchise, but the series is known how to make it truly macabre. This means Marie does not just move blood, she can completely alter it. Marie can control her own blood much more easily if she can access it, which means she has to cut herself to use her own or cut her enemies to use theirs. Of course, in battle, superheroes and villains shed blood almost immediately, which means it's only a matter of time for her to have what she needs in battle. Once blood is available, Marie can move it all at will. When it's her own blood, she generally creates tendrils from her hands, which she uses as whips or even as extensions of her own limbs. It's an incredible sight, although kinda scary and horrific. Marie chooses to use her blood as a weapon, but she can also use her enemy's own blood to maim them. For example, she can move it all to a specific location, which will tear the skin apart, making a limb explode. With this skill, she can halt the flow of a wound or cause a stroke in a person. No other power in Gen V truly compares to this one. No wonder Marie is the series' main character. Is there anything else she could do with hemokinesis? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, thanks for watching CBR.